Have you ever found yourself to staring at the ceiling at 2 in the morning? Your body is completely exhausted, but your brain is running a full-on marathon. Yeah, if that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. In this explainer, we're going to break down why that happens and give you some simple, seriously effective tools to quiet those racing thoughts. And we'll get to the single most important rule. The absolute worst thing you can do when you can't sleep is stay in bed.
It is one of the most maddening feelings in the world, isn't it? Your body is just screaming for sleep. You've had a long day, you've got a huge day tomorrow, but your brain decides that, 1 a.m. is the perfect time to review every single mistake you've ever made, or maybe run through a to-do list for the next, decade.
This quote just nails it. It's the vicious cycle of sleeplessness, right? The more you worry about not sleeping, the more anxious you get, and then, surprise, the harder it is to actually fall asleep. But here's the good news, and it is really good news. You can break this cycle, and we're going to show you exactly how.
Okay, so what's the first thing most of us do when our mind is racing? We try to force it to stop. We lie there and we tell ourselves, just stop thinking, go to sleep now. But as we're about to see, that is like trying to put out a fire with a can of gasoline.
This is the classic pink elephant problem. If I tell you, don't think about a pink elephant, what's the very first thing you think about? A pink elephant, of course. It's this wild thing our brains do called ironic process theory. When you try to push a thought away, your brain has to keep checking in to make sure you're not thinking about it, which naturally brings it right back to the front of your mind. So the key takeaway here is you can't force your thoughts away. You have to gently guide your attention somewhere else.
So if we can't just bully our brain into shutting down, what is actually going on up there? Why does it pick the worst possible time to get so busy? Well, here's the thing. Your brain isn't trying to sabotage you. It's actually, believe it or not, trying to do its job.
Think about your brain like a computer that's been downloading updates all day long. But every time you had a spare moment, you filled it with your phone, with a podcast, with something. Basically, hitting remind me later on all those updates. Well, when you finally lie down in the dark and the quiet, your brain goes, aha, finally, my chance, and it starts trying to install all those updates at once. That's your racing mind.
So, how do we get our brains to just chill out? Well, it all comes down to understanding our body's internal on and off switches. You've got the sympathetic nervous system. That's your gas pedal. It's the fight or flight response that floods you with stress hormones. Then you have the parasympathetic nervous system. That's your brake pedal. The rest and digest mode that brings calm. When your mind is racing, you're stuck with the gas pedal floored. Our entire goal is to learn how to consciously hit the brakes.
And here's the trick. You can't just think your way calm. When that fight or flight system is fired up, it's coming from a deep, primal part of your brain that doesn't really listen to logic. So what we need is what's called a bottom-up approach. We have to use our body to send safety signals back to the brain.
This is an incredibly powerful and simple exercise to pull your mind out of future worries and anchor it right here in the present. By focusing on your senses, sight, touch, hearing, you are sending a direct signal to your brain that says, hey, we're safe, right here, right now. And that helps to activate that off switch. You can even try it right now. What are 5 things you can see from wherever you are?
All right, this next one might sound a little weird, but stick with me. Another way to stop your brain from ambushing you at night is to actually give it a designated time to worry during the day. I know, it sounds counterintuitive, but by scheduling your worries, you're taking back control and you're teaching your brain when it's okay to problem solve.
I'm telling you, this is so effective. You set aside just a little 15-minute window during the day, maybe at 5 p.m., to do a brain dump. Get every little thing out on paper. Then later, when you're in bed and a worry pops up, you can gently tell your mind, hey, thanks for the reminder, but that's on the agenda for our meeting tomorrow. This literally trains your brain to trust that its concerns will be heard, which allows it to finally stand down at night.
Okay, but what if you're already caught in that midnight worry cycle? This is where the 15-minute rule comes in, and I want you to treat this as a non-negotiable. If you have been lying in bed, awake, for more than 15 minutes, you need to get up. Seriously, staying there stewing in that anxiety just teaches your brain to associate your bed with frustration and stress. So you get up, you go to another room, keep the lights super low, and do something calm and kind of boring. Read a dull book, listen to some quiet music, absolutely no screens. You're just waiting for your natural sleep drive to build back up. Only when you feel that real wave of sleepiness again do you go back to bed for a clean re-entry.
Now, this is a fantastic tool to use when you get out of bed. It's called the physiological sigh, and it's one of the fastest known ways to calm your nervous system. You take 2 short inhales through the nose, 1 big one, then a little top up, and then a long, slow exhale through your mouth.
That double inhale fully inflates all the little air sacs in your lungs, and the long exhale offloads excess carbon dioxide, sending this powerful relaxed signal straight to your brain. Let's try it right now. In, and a long, slow out. You can feel the difference immediately.
So often, worry is rooted in a feeling of scarcity, right? We worry about not having enough time, not having enough money, not having enough love. Well, the antidote to scarcity is gratitude. By consciously, intentionally focusing on what you already have, no matter how small it seems, you can shift your brain out of that fear mode and into a state of abundance. And that is a much, much better place to be for falling asleep.
So here's the crucial point. You are not powerless against a racing mind. Not at all. You now have a whole toolkit filled with practical, science-backed strategies. You've got grounding for when you feel frantic, scheduled worry to be proactive, the physiological sigh for an instant reset, and gratitude to reframe your entire mindset. You can literally start using all of these tonight.
So the next time you find yourself wide awake with a racing mind, remember this. You have the power to change your state. Sleep isn't something that just randomly happens to you. It's something you can actively guide your body and mind towards. By using these tools, and especially by committing to that 15-minute rule, you can stop hoping for sleep and start commanding it. You can quiet your mind, calm your body, and finally get the deep rest you deserve.